Hello, and welcome to the Movie Zone. Today we are recapping HBO's House of Dragon, Episode 3. A couple years have passed since the announcement of the King's marriage to Alicent Hightower, and Daemon Targaryen has decided to make his own path. Let's see what happens on this episode. Spoilers ahead, let's begin. We begin with the chaos and destruction brought on by the crab feeder, men slowly dying on the beach. Prince Daemon comes on Dragonback to fight the Stepstones and challenge him, but he is injured in the process. We also learn the crab feeder goes by the name Prince Drahan, but more on them both later. The king Viserys now has a young son, Aegon, while the heir Rhaenyra is distant. She wishes not to participate in court or at the upcoming hunt. She is hurt by Alicent, who is pregnant with the king's second child, and they are no longer close friends. About 2 or so years have passed since the previous episode, so there's a lot to catch up on. The royal family arrives in the woods and the hunt begins. Everyone is excited to celebrate the prince on his second name day. Inside the tent, ladies of court talk, and it's revealed Rhaenyra hasn't talked to Daemon in years. After butting heads with the ladies, she goes off to do her own thing when she is approached by Jason Lannister from Casterly Rock. They talk briefly, and he mentions he is looking for a wife. She gets the hint, curtly denies, and then runs off. Sorry, bro. Rhaenyra confronts her father for trying to set up the match. They both argue, and it ends with the Hand intervening, and she runs off. The Hand reports a white stag has been spotted, a special sighting for the name day of the young prince, and maybe a sign. Chased by Sir Criston Cole, they talk at the river, and he tries to convince her to return to camp. She refuses, and they explore the woods. Later that night, the Hand suggests an unusual betrothal for Rhaenyra to her half-brother Aegon. The king dismisses the idea and is tired of the endless politics until Lord Lionel Strong comes up with another proposal. Laenor of House Corlys and son of the Sea Snake, knowing it would do much to bond their houses. Back in the woods, Rhaenyra and Cole are warming by the fire. Suddenly, they hear a noise when a boar rushes out and attacks them. Rhaenyra barely escapes harm when she is saved by her Kingsguard, then fatally stabs the beast herself. The following day, the lords have gathered to end the hunt and put down the stag. It is not a white, but a normal stag, and the king has a hard time putting him down. But on the way back to camp, Rhaenyra encounters the majestic white stag. As Cole pulls his blade, she tells him no, and the stag escapes. Covered in the blood of the dead boar, Rhaenyra returns to camp, much to the stares of court and the admiration of the hunters. Back in King's Landing, the Hand talks with his daughter, the Queen, about getting Aegon named heir. She complies and goes to talk with the king. He tells her of his problems with the Stepstones and briefly discusses Rhaenyra. Following her suggestion, he comes to a resolution to aid his brother and the Sea Snake in their destruction of the crab feeder. In the small council the next day, the king sends word to his brother and he talks with his daughter. They discuss family and his marriage to Alicent. He again insists she must marry, but suggests she chooses who she wants. As Rhaenyra leaves, King Viserys assures her that she will not be replaced as his heir, but we will see if that lasts. Daemon is struggling in his fight against the Stepstones. They are under siege and they don't have much time left. On his own, Daemon gets in a boat and paddles over to surrender, laying his sword at his feet. When the enemy approaches and takes his sword, he springs his trap, killing them. Advancing under the fire of archers, he storms towards the crab feeder, killing men in his path and drawing dozens out in the open. The enemy surrounds him on his last leg, and finally, his allies rush out from hiding to his aid. When the crab feeder tries to escape, Daemon chases him into the cave. He returns from the caves with the corpse of the crab feeder and victory over the enemy. Tell us what you thought of this episode. Do you think Aegon will be king, or will Rhaenyra retain her position as heir to the throne? What will happen with Prince Daemon? Let us know in the comments below. See you next time.